Hello, welcome to part 3, and I've got a box only just been delivered today. I've been waiting all week for this, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to get actually completed this week, because it was all relying on this box. While I was waiting for that, I've been starting to work on all the railway arches. So some of the workshops underneath and things like that, and some of the blank pieces, more workshops. So, and I've got lots more to cut out. I've got enough to do the front, and I've got more to do on the back. Still got, this is about at least 10 hours worth of cutting out and gluing and waiting. Well, waiting time not included in that. And the main, just cutting out the arches, just getting you in, and then just making sure everything's cut out. It's difficult when it's thick card. I did buy a couple of new kits. So I've got this block of flats from, what's this, Kingsway models. Never used them before, don't know how they're going to go together. You've got to do a lot of cutting out. I also bought a pub. So this is actually, you could have it as the Queen Vic, I think, and things like that. So it's just a typical East End London pub, and I thought that would look quite good. And signal, and hopefully there's another signal in there. And this is what I actually wanted to join the tracks together. I'll show them in a little bit more detail and closer, and especially probably in another video. But these are the ProTrack rail aligners, and I was going to use these on the top level, but it took over 2 weeks to arrive, so I got impatient and just used the copper supers, But let's get this box open. And there should be another signal. So I've got 2 signals for each end, and something that I always wanted to look at and try, and this is your vehicle car system starter set. So I'm going to open this and have a look, and then I want this to run around the sort of thing in between the railway and the road and through the arches. Right then, so what do we actually get? And this is actually quite a crucial piece to get on the layout, because I want to get the road texture on, but I need to get the wire inside the road before I put the texture on. And I can't put the texture on, well, I can't put the viaduct on until I put the road surface on. So I was at a bit of a stuck until I got this. But you have a sheet paper that just comes off. A little wire fan, very small. Not sure what those bits are, but I think they're wing mirrors and things like that. So roadway paint, so you get some textured paint, and we get a very heavy box there, and then and not sure what that is. And what do we have in this section? Okay, I don't think there's anything else any of those. I'm just going to pop that to one side. Get this box out of the way. Right, so there you go, some crash barriers. Don't know what they are. Some labels for the van. So, some road markings and things like that. Tells you do's and don'ts of how to align the magnet. I think I'll have a read of that in a little while. Let's just get this out. Seems to be a bag of plaster. Okay. I was expecting some wire. Also, I'm going to have to read some more instructions on this then. I was expecting a little bit of wire so the van sort of follows. Obviously there's a charging port somewhere. But that's really what we've got, and the idea was this was to swap the body over for something different. So I'm going to have a bit of a read on this and then see if I can get it working. I was just looking through all the instructions to see what we actually got, and it does say that we get some wire, so I thought I'd have another look through the boxes, and there's definitely the wire. So I think you get 10 metres, so I think that should be plenty for the layout. My first job was to get the van fully charged up, and it's just a 3-pin socket. It goes at the bottom, and I've just come to pull that off, and it's pulled the cover off it. Build quality on the charging circuit, not great. Piece fell off the van, front grille, but not a problem. I can fix that on, and sort of to stop you pulling the wires, you're supposed to pull it on there. You pull it on there, and it just leaves the wires stuck into the van. So. And also, you don't get a plug, it's just this plug into any USB port, so you have to provide your own power. And I want to define exactly where my road is. So this will be the where the girder bridge goes. So that will go there. And the girder bridge will go at the end there. So I want the van to come out here, go along and back round. So it's just on like a loop circuit. Now, this cable might not be the easiest to see on the camera, but I'm going to stick it down with some bits of tape and sort of do some gentle sort of curves. I think that would work. So I need to make sure that I'm keeping it driving on the left. So I'm going to just quickly draw where I want it to be, and then see if I can get the tape to stick. Right, I've got a little bit of a circuit laid out there just to go round. And I've just put the wire down with a small bit of masking tape. And we seem to be getting stuck on the masking tape. And just going where it seems just a small, even bits of masking tape. It pulls the magnet as far down. I mean, I've lifted it up a little bit, but then as soon as it gets in contact with the wire, it pulls the magnet straight onto it. So if you get a little bit of a catch on the masking tape, it sort of knocks it off the road. So maybe I put a complete strip of masking tape down to test it, or I glue the wire down. Because then once I've glued that wire down, I'm going to then sort of plaster the road surface. And also all this is going to be under plaster just there as well. So I'm going to plaster the road surface and then have this as sort of hard standing, so anything loading up would go to the docks in. Okay, that's it with a lot more masking tape now. Right, it's sort of getting there. What I want here is some parked cars and then sort of go round them. But we are following the line, so it does work. Takes a little bit of patience. And before I start fixing this down properly, I'm going to get these signals drilled and in place. So the idea you can get into the box. It got some tape on it, yes. Right, knife. And the idea of that is to have the signal there, so it can stop the train and then obviously let the train go. And I can't just put a conventional starter signal on the end there because there's just not enough room, and I've got all my wood supports. But I've got a nice big hollow structure there, so I can get my hand. I can even lift this off, but it should then fit on the control box just underneath and sit about there, something like that, which gives me plenty of room just to get that mounted. I'm going to have to do it about there though, so your train would stop about there, just off the train station. And I think that would look quite good. Let me just angle that, and I'll drop the light down a little bit. Yeah, that seems to work all right. Has a nice bounce as it gets to the top. So one thing I wanted to just make sure, now I've drilled the hole, but I could make it slightly wider or something, but do we have enough clearance? And yes, probably could have gone a slightly little bit closer. I think that's okay to the track level there. I'm using something with quite big external valve gear, this Bachmann crab, and we've got plenty of clearance all the way around, so I'm happy with that. And we've got the signal on the other end there, So make sure we've got full amount of clearance. So I've put the pen just on the middle of the coach there, through the line, so I know that everything will clear it. I'll probably never run these sort of coaches, but you never know. Might want to run a HST around here. But that means we've got full clearance. So I do need to make sure that one's working. And now I need to take them all out, put away all the missing sleepers, and start painting the rails. Before I do that, I need to, because I've got a limited amount of places where I've actually soldered wires to these. This is one area on the whole lot, so it's actually relying on the fish plates. It's great for DC, but if you get a slight voltage drop, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. But DCC, if I run that on the top circuit, then it could be potential, so I'm going to need to put in some more jumper links. So I don't want to rely on the fish plates, because once you've ballasted it, you know, it could all go wrong. How I replace these missing sleepers is get the ones that I've cut out off track. These are the ones that I cut out from the ones that I was joining, and I just sand them down so I can just slide them underneath. And just make sure all the chairs have gone and they're nice and flat. Okay, so go a little bit grey, but I'm going to be painting them anyway. And I just need to know how many I need. I think this one will be 3. Will this slide in? I might actually only... Now I do have a little bit of glue that's stuck underneath some of these. I'll see nice and clear that. Now, it could be just the fish plate, so I'm going to need to sand a little bit more off that. And try them again. And yeah, they've gone in right that time. A little bit of glue. There we go. Now I've just got to finish all the rest. There's a few left to do. So what I have done is I've just put a small jumper link to join all the wires together, so I'm not just relying on the fish plates now. And you're probably thinking, why don't you just solder the fish plates up? Well, there is a reason why I haven't done that, and the reason is expansion. These could expand a little bit, and if I soldered that up, I could get a buckle in the track. So that's the reason why I've done all that. I've done that on every single joint, and because I could only put droppers down on this section and that section on this main board here. Here you'll see, well, can't really see that well, but the jumper links over all the joints. Right, before I paint up the track, I just want to protect point blades, so I'm just using a bit of blue tack. I'm not actually relying on the point blades for the electrical contact anyway, but still. Right, it's time to get my track sort of sprayed. So this will give the sleepers a bit of a colour, and all the sides of the rails. And I like to do it with just spray, because it's quick. And then I ballast it, and then I weather it after that. And it saves having to manually paint all the rails. So I'm just using I think it's oak brown, so gives it a nice sort of a dark rust colour. Now I don't really need to go both sides because it's only viewed from one side, but I think I prefer to have it sort of properly done. Right, I'm going to get the rest of the layout sprayed up and come back. Right, that's the whole layout, sort of first part of the weathering done. Now I've got to clean all the track off. Let me get the rest of all this cleaned up. Take a little bit of time. Right, that's all that paint cleaned off the top of the rails. All looks okay. Now just a little bit of housekeeping to do. Give everything a good clean. Yeah, I'm just got to, now all the brown paint's dry, I'm just starting to put a black wash over the whole lot. Quick and easy. And I'm just going to finish the rest of the layout. I thought just while I'm waiting for this paint to dry, I'll just test these signals. I think these are great. Now all that's virtually dry, I thought I'd just give it a quick wipe over with some IPA. Just on the tracks. Everything as clean as it can. I'm going to give the see how much dirt's still coming off. And then give the whole lot a clean and then a bit of a test. Right, let's see if we Yeah, I think I'll go the other way around. Right, I'm just going to make sure all my track's working on the upper level. So I'm quite happy that we got good conductivity there. So I'm just going to test the other line. Okay, I'm going to test the upper circuit. I'm using another DCC Loco because I want to make sure that all this track works on DCC really well as well. So let's have some sound on this one. Okay, I've got a little bit of a dirty bit of track there, so this is why I wanted to test it with the sound Loco. Let's turn that sound off. brings me to an end of the this week's video really. Not got as much done as I was hoping to, mainly because I was waiting for all the van set and a few other parts. So I started me viaducts. I'm going to finish all those off at the weekend. Can't put them in until I've done the ballast because I don't want all the any of the liquid to soak into the card. I know I'm going to spray them up with the matte lacquer to give them waterproof, but you still don't want to get them soaking wet. I've got the station platform to fit in before I can do the ballast in, and I was hoping to use these on this episode, but I'm going to fit these onto the next section of track that I'm just going to put down for a small piece coming in before I can put all the road surface in. So that's really what I'm going to do. So I'm happy with these signals, they look really good. I'm just running out of the battery, but I've got a switch somewhere underneath here. That seems to be running quite nicely. Same on the other side. You know, they seem to be really good, these Dapol signals, but I'm not going to be able to get any more done till this week. So I'm going to wish you a very good evening, a very good rest of the day, and hopefully I'll see you again. Take care.